So it's January 21st, 2021. A little farther into 1 mile. I'm up here by the highway. And here's a campsite that I've filmed numerous times over the years. So the sleeping mat is still back there. The shit bucket is still there. I don't know what that is, some sort of cardboard. There's Little Caesars over there, of course. And I'm gonna take a little walk here this morning and kind of go over some things. This spot's been a local recently. It seems to be a hangout to get high. You know, come have your snacks, get high, and then just leave a mess. And this is funny, like if you haven't been doing a lot of cleanups or spent a lot of time in the woods, you know, this would probably look like a normal scene to you, right? But to myself, it's clearly a toilet. So you've got no real disturbance of the leaves on the backside. You've got a little bit of trash, and the front of this log is clearly disturbed. So what they'll do is, you know, you sit on the log and hang your behind over there and take a dump. And you know, I've seen it used as a toilet in the past, and just thought I'd point that out, that when you start doing these cleanups, you know, you start to recognize things differently than you would if you were just in the park. You know, and the shopping cart's gone, but we still have this mess here. You know, it just keeps getting scattered, worn into the environment. Well, somebody took one of the apples, and the lid to the pot's over there now. But cook pot, well, that looks like a carrot. Interesting. So yeah, it's just, you know, everywhere, every step you take is just like more trash in Bidwell. And it's just, that's a used glove. Saw that yesterday. And it's just frustrating, you know. I used to be very supportive of the idea of cleaning up, but when I saw the way the city handles things, you know, I'm not really into doing cleanups anymore until the city changes its practices and puts a stop to this behavior. And they haven't really shown a desire in years to put a stop to. Not sure what they're doing with shredded paper out here, but okay. Anyway, so the city hasn't really demonstrated a desire, more shredded paper, a desire to put a stop to this trashing of the city and the parks. You know, I was always a fan of, you know, I'll help you clean something once, twice, you know, third time maybe, fourth time, you know, no, you need to clean your stuff yourself. And you know, obviously it's a little different with a city, but the problem I have with the city of Chico is, you know, you'll go out and clean an area and they'll allow campers to come in and just trash it immediately after, and they'll make up all these excuses why they can't do anything. And oh, we can't because of this, we can't because of that. And the real answer is they just don't want to. They don't want to put forth the effort. So there's a camp back there. You can see, if you zoom in on the picture, you'll see all the trash on the other side of the fence with the highway. It's like a pool, and there's a camp in that little triangle. We're gonna come over here. But you know, the city, it's frustrating too, because you know, combination of things led to the city losing its ability to maintain itself. You know, and put up this false narrative that, you know, everything's great and we're doing great and the city's great. You know, so, you know, how do you break that false narrative down? How do you combat the narrative that the city is, you know, being managed effectively or smartly, or, you know, even coherently? Well, you got to come out and kind of expose it for what it is. And you know, sad thing is a lot of people don't want to hear the ugly side of the truth, right? They just want to take these broad views of the park and whip by on their bike or take a stroll on their walk and have this happy-go-lucky, you know, viewpoint of what's happening, and ignore the trashing and the policies and procedures that, you know, are degrading this park. And you know, nothing's really being done on a permanent basis to make this park better. You know, the whole idea of no new camps is a fallacy, and it, you know, a lot of it is because they've been allowing camping in this park for years. They just move them every time people complain, and there's no demonstration of a permanent solution. There's no demonstration of a standard, right? I've been referring to some other videos about Chico has no standards, and this is part of it. Is, you know, they have no standard of what's acceptable behavior in the park. Acceptable behavior in the park basically comes down to whatever you can get away with, and that's a pretty big realm of things, considering there's no enforcement out here. There's nobody out writing tickets, nobody's stopping you, nobody's stopping kids, you know. And look how beautiful this is. I mean, this place is just amazing. When I first came to Chico and walked this park, you know, I was blown away how beautiful this is, and it's so accessible, right? You can come out here on your lunchtime, and if you don't mind the trash, like that bucket in the water right there, you know, you can come out here and enjoy your lunch and get back to work. And you know, how blessed are we to live in a city that has this available to you? You know, it just, but at the same time, we're not being good stewards, right? Let me get back on point here. You know, this is a beautiful picnic area, and you know, you look, there's some orange peels and cigarette butts, right? So the other interesting thing about this picnic area is if you stand here, I counted 6 camps the other day. So there's one real clear there, there's one back there directly under the sun, you can't really see it with this lens, and then there's one to the right. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, you got to kind of look through the trees. So there's another one like straight back there, and then to the right you should see a bright green spot, and then there's a little red tent over there. And I'm not finding them all in the light this morning, but you know, there were 6 camps you could see right from this point. And you got to come out when the sun is overhead, not in your face. And so what's the point of moving the camps from the visual area up front to back here when they're just going to trash this area, right? And then where are they going next? They're probably going up the road to where they used to camp, you know, up by the Redwood Grove. Right across the highway there was almost a permanent camp next to the creek for years. It would get cleaned out every, you know, month or two, but you know, people would still move back in. It was just past the bridge on the left next to the creek. And you know, this has been going on, and the question I have for you is, when's